I have focused on self-awareness as a necessary first step to increasing performance. Have you started to pay attention on purpose? We're going to switch gears a little bit this week, but you will notice the need to be self-aware in this week's lesson as well as many of the future ones. But first things first, I'm curious, did you take the meditation challenge? If not, what kept you from following through on it? Was that you didn't believe in the benefits of meditation? Was that you didn't have 10 minutes a day to dedicate to it? Was the thought of sitting still and focusing on your breath more stressful than relaxing? Or was it something else? If you did take on the challenge, did you complete the entire 7 days? If not, what kept you from being consistent and following through? What was the most challenging part of the meditation practice? Were you able to identify a best time of day to use it as a strategy? I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback on your experience, so please post them to the High Performers Facebook group. Now, you may not value meditation despite the few benefits I had mentioned in my previous video, and the time and effort needed to complete the challenge was higher than the perceived value you would receive. Or maybe you tried it 1 or 2 days and you didn't notice a difference right away, and then other more pressing demands took priority. If you did complete the 7-day challenge, congratulations. Please post a screenshot of the activity to the Facebook group, and I will email you the free training I had promised. I would also love to hear about your experience with the challenge, what you liked and what you didn't like, so please share that as well. We all have reasons that we follow through on activities and reasons that we don't. And part of becoming more self-aware is taking the time to dissect what those reasons are, so we can identify how to overcome the obstacle if we deem the activity worthy of our effort. The reason I'm spending some time talking about this is because we often know the actions to take that will get us closer to our goals, but we still find ourselves not taking that action that is needed. There is often a gap between knowing what to do and then actually doing it consistently. Understanding this one principle was actually one of the driving factors that helped me in my decision to go back to graduate school. Before pursuing my doctorate, I had spent 10 years or so studying personal development and performance. Yet I found that I wasn't following through 100% on any of the actions that I needed to take, and I didn't understand why. I knew what to do, but yet I wasn't doing it. You could say this became my burning question that I wanted to answer. So let's spend a few minutes breaking down what drives human behavior and motivates us to take consistent action. At the very basic level, we engage in behaviors that produce pleasure and we avoid behaviors that produce pain. Now, when I say pain, I'm not speaking literally for the most part. Pain can be literal pain if we know we have to go do a training run, for example, and we know it's going to be hard. Or it can mean a non-preferred activity like making sales calls that will likely lead to some rejection. Either way, the activity itself is not producing pleasure. Now, behavioral scientists have shown time and time again that people respond more favorably to positive reinforcement rather than punishment. We see this key principle of behavior change used all the time. Anyone who's ever been to SeaWorld and seen any of the animal shows has witnessed this firsthand. The only way to get a 6,000-pound killer whale to do tricks is to first develop a trusting relationship with it and then provide him or her with positive reinforcement when it does the behavior you're wanting to see more of. Now, you may be asking yourself what this has to do with you and why you're not following through on the behaviors that you know will bring you closer to your goals. Hang with me. I'm going to tie all of this together. Have you ever procrastinated? I'm going to guess the answer is yes, because you're human. Procrastination is the delay of a perceived non-preferred activity because whatever you were doing at that time was providing you more pleasure in that moment. So let's go back to the meditation challenge. If you didn't perceive the activity to be reinforcing, especially if you weren't bought into the value it provided, it's not surprising you either didn't start or complete the entire 7 days. Most people don't particularly enjoy brushing their teeth, for example, but they value that behavior because they know the pain of not brushing their teeth is bad breath, probably some social judgment, getting a cavity, and having to go see the dentist where they have to use that very punishing drill. So we engage in the behavior to avoid pain. Getting in shape is another great example of this principle of pain and pleasure at work and the challenge with consistency that many people face. Starting and maintaining a fitness program requires effort and some level of discomfort if you're hoping to see any type of result. The time commitment and the pain of engaging in this activity require some type of reinforcement to consistently do it. Unfortunately, the reinforcement that we seek, either the weight loss or the muscle gain or some other health benefit, takes longer to realize, and we are left only experiencing the pain of the activity. In the moment, the pain of the activity is more real and immediate than the pleasure that we will receive eventually. So how do we turn all this around and start taking consistent action? Now that you know, at least on a basic level, what drives human behavior, the action item for this week is to first write down the activity or behavior that you know you should be doing. Maybe this is getting a certain number of extra fitness sessions in, or making 5 extra sales calls each day, or making sure that you are home for dinner on time. Whatever it is, write it down. Then I want you to pay attention and write down the pain that you associate with the activity. Is it physical? Is it potential rejection? Is home not reinforcing when you first get there? Whatever it is, write it down. Then finally, look at the activities that you are doing instead of what you should be doing, because it is those activities that you are finding more reinforcing, at least in that moment. Next week, I'm going to go through some strategies that you can use to receive more immediate reinforcement for the non-preferred behaviors that you know will lead you to your goals. And one last thing, please share with the group your experiences. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We can learn so much more from each other than we ever will on our own. So until next time, have a great day and pay attention on purpose.